All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to North Coast Coffee Chats. I'm David West, your solar best, and today I have as a guest my other co-host.
What's up, folks? Loan Coach Kelly with One Trust Home Loans, servicing the mortgage community for 23 years, and normally the co-host of North Coast Coffee Chats. But today, Dave's put me on the hot seat.
Yeah.
How did I end up on the hot seat again?
We flipped a coin. So
we flipped a coin today. I won or lost, however you want to look at it.
Well, it depends on how much you want to get roasted. So
let's go.
See how much you
got thick skin, baby. It's a little weathered, but let's go.
Yeah. So we'll see. As members of North Coast Networking Group, we strive to connect local entrepreneurs around the North Coast of San Diego to build their foundations and bring their businesses in front of more people. Our mission with Coffee Chats, and this podcast especially, is to engage the community with their experiences and ultimately have them explain and explore how they run their business and their life as entrepreneurs. And today, I get the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Loan Coach Kelly and specializing really in helping homeowners find more homes, right? And buy their first home and be able to afford, one of the biggest investments of their life, plus a lot of other services. So I'm really excited to warm up and dive in. Before we do so, just wanted to say thank you so much to Maxlix Media, our wonderful sponsors that
yes, sir. Thanks, fellas, for having us every week.
And so let's warm up and dive in.
All right.
So for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Your journey, how you got started out of Ventura, made your way down to San Diego, and ultimately started in the mortgage community for over, 20 years now?
23.
23 years. That's all the 2000s.
All the 2000s. That was it. January 1, 2000 was my starting date in the mortgage business. But so backtrack to growing up as a kid, I was always a sports junkie as a kid. Like I wanted to do nothing more than play sports, ride bikes, hang out with buddies. And once I started to realize at probably like age 10, everything I wanted cost money. And I didn't realize that if I didn't have money, I couldn't get those things that I wanted. And my parents were, blue collar. They weren't super well off. We weren't poor, but we also didn't just get whatever we wanted. I never owned a pair of Jordans in my life as a child. My mom was like, hell no, way too expensive, not getting Jordans. Sorry. 2 tiers down, any pair you want, fine. But it was like, I want some Jordans, dude. How am I going to get some Jordans? I need to go hustle. I need to make money. Mom's not going to pick up the tab on that. And so I started to realize that I wanted to work. I wanted to hustle. I was a worker bee. I watched my parents be worker bees. I knew I could be a worker bee. Nobody could outwork me. I could do whatever I wanted to. And all it took me was putting my foot forward and saying, I'll do that. And it started off with filling in for a buddy one week when he went on vacation, doing his paper route. I'm like, dude, that's easy. I wake up early. The papers are dropped off on my front porch, wrap these bad boys up, throw them in a rubber band, throw them on my bag, ride my bike. I love to ride my bike anyways, and just huck a couple papers. It's just like throwing a football. Dude, that was dope. I was like, sweet. Made like $50 in 1 week. I'm like, this is awesome.
Killer.
But then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that every day. Like it was kind of cool for like a week. Maybe it'd be cool like on a weekend, but I don't really know if I want to do that every day. So I was like, let's figure something else out. So every weekend, Saturday morning, first thing I had to do before I went to go play sports was I had to mow the lawn. It's my household chore. Dad said, get up before you go anywhere, before you do anything, before any sports games, pop out the lawnmower, get it done. So I was like, okay, well, man, if I got a weekend where I don't have any games, like I'll just go knock on a couple doors. Hey, I got my lawnmower. You guys your lawn looks a little bit long. Can I cut it? Sure. Yeah, go for it, Kelly. No problem. $5 here, $10 there, $20 here. And every Saturday I was putting $40, $50 in my pocket, just walking my lawnmower up and down the block, cutting some grass. I'm like, this is cool, making a little bit of cash. So progress through, get into high school. And now I'm starting to figure out money drives a lot of things as you're getting older and you're really wanting to go hang out with your buddies and you're wanting to go out and have lunch versus stay on campus and all these things. And so start umpiring Little League baseball games start refereeing youth basketball games. And so I'm getting my passion for sports as I'm an athlete and I'm playing all the sports. And in between those, I'm going out making some bucks and doing all these things. And finally I turned 15 and an opportunity comes available for me to get a job at a local pizza place that I loved their pizza. And one of their employees happened to be a cousin of mine who had gotten a job there, and dummy put his hand through the pizza maker and crushed his hand. So very quickly they're like, we need a replacement. And he's like, call my cousin. He's a worker. So Big Dave calls me up. He goes, hey, Kelly, I understand you're Tyler's cousin. And he said, you might be interested in working at Big D's California Pizza Kitchen. I was like, dude, I'd love to. Walk in, meet him and his wife. They hire me on the spot, give me an apron, take me around the kitchen, show me how to make some pizza dough. And next thing you know, I'm pizza flipping. And so do that for about 8 months. I turned 16, get my license. Now I'm pizza flipping and I'm delivering. So I'm out there driving around town and I'm meeting the community and I'm delivering pizzas and I'm playing basketball and I'm, just having a good life, making money and, just trying to hustle. And I kept starting to learn some of these people like, dude, if I get there quick and if I get their food hot, like those tips were getting a little bit better every time. So I'm like busting those pizzas out, man. Regular order. Oh, Jimmy's got his regular order. Let's go. 4 pizzas. Knock these things out. Get out to Jimmy's house. Jimmy's like, dude, 10 bones. Here you go. I'm like, sweet, dude, like double tips. So, always early, man, I was figuring out like how to hustle, man, how to find a way to make an extra dollar and take it to that next level and make it 2 and then make it 5 and then make it 10. And that was always how my mind worked. It was like, I wanted something. I needed to figure out a way to get it and nothing was going to stop me from getting it. And that was just kind of like my mindset. And graduate from high school, lettered in varsity basketball, not really a basketball figure type dude, right? You think I'd be a linebacker or offensive lineman or something. And here I was a point guard, a little bit skinnier back in the day, a little bit quicker, a little bit, good defensive kid. And I was the hard worker, right? Like I was never the money guy, right? I was the dude who they put on the fastest baller point guards, shut them down, get in their face, harass them, get up in their grill, smack talk, get in their head, get their shots off. Fine, dude. I'll play that part. I'll be that guy. And it was fun. And I get accepted to go to San Diego State. And I'm pumped. I'm like, yes, graduated, got accepted to San Diego State. I'm going to go to San Diego, change my life. This is going to be cool. And my mom goes, yeah, we just really can't afford college. Like, sorry. Like, we just, it's not the right time. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I got accepted to go to college. I thought that was like what the point was, like, go to school, work hard, get good grades, go to college. Yeah, sorry. Like, we just don't have the money for that. I'm like, oh, all right. So shift gears, go to junior college, get a job working at Vaughn's, graduate up from Big D's California Pizza Kitchen, get a job working at Vaughn's as a grocery, bagger, clerk. Work for Vaughn's for a couple of months, get promoted, work in this new clerk position, got a raise, did that for 3 more months, got promoted. Everybody saw that this dude just shows up for work and like, you don't even have to tell him what to do. Like he knows his job. He comes in, he does his job. People like him. He's super friendly. He makes friends with everybody. And it became like this, like kind of like we talked about with Joe, like, in a corporate world, there's political stuff, right? Like you got to try to navigate through some of the politic things. And I didn't have to politic. People just liked me. They liked my work ethic. They liked the way I showed up every day, smile on my face and ready to bust my butt. And so worked for Vaughn's, saved up a bunch of money, reapplied to San Diego State my second year after a year of junior college, putting in a couple of credits, got accepted again. Signed up for some student loans on my own, said, peace, I'm out, time to go to school. So kind of grinded through, made my way out to San Diego State, got into college, got there my first year, joined a fraternity. And at that point in life, that's when I realized not only can I hustle and work hard, but I actually kind of have a bit of a salesmanship about me. And like I can I can sell people on stuff, and I can convince these guys to join my fraternity because it's my fraternity. It wasn't mine, it was ours, but I treated it like it was mine. And like I had that passion for, this is mine, dude, you should join it. Like you should be a part of my thing. Like this is the best thing out there. And then it was like, dude, Kline, you're like pretty good at like bringing guys into the house. Like we're going to make you the philanthropy chair. So you need to go out and you need to raise money. I'm like, raise money? Like I'm just a college kid. Who am I going to raise money from? Dude, figure it out. Okay. Figured it out. What did I do? I went knocking on doors. Hey, Joe's Pizza. Hey, dude, we're going to have this event. We're going to have like 50 sorority chicks and like 50 fraternity dudes. And we're raising money for this, kids foundation. And we're going to take this money and we're going to go buy a bunch of backpacks and we're going to have shirts and everything. And we'll put your logo on there. How much money would you be willing to donate to this thing? $150 sound good? Dude, that's amazing. Could we get maybe 10 pizzas too? Yo, yeah, no problem. Right there, bam, Joe's Pizza. Right there, logo on the shirt, $150 check, 10 pizzas for the event. I was like, dude, that's super easy. All you had to do is ask. And you don't know that until you try that. And that was what I learned was you don't get what you don't ask for in life. I always thought I had to go get it myself because I never asked for it. I just thought I just had to go get it. I just had to go earn it. I just had to go figure it out. But as you get older, you don't know what you don't know until you try it. And that was one of the things that I learned was you don't get what you don't get until you ask for it. And so graduated college, got my degree in kinesiology, thought I was going to go on to be a teacher, maybe coach some high school sports or become an athletic director of a high school or something like that. Like I really enjoyed education. I really enjoyed working with kids. I really liked sports, still in love with sports and thought maybe that would be a great angle to make money, be involved in sports. Who knows where that would take me in life, but that was kind of what I was thinking. And then when I come into my senior year and I start looking at like what those teachers' jobs paid and how much more I needed to do to actually get to make some real money in that role, I was like, I'm out. Like, that's just not enough money. Like, I want to do fun things. I want to drive rad cars. I want to take cool trips. Like I want to have a boat. Like when I get older, I want these things. And that salary of an educator, unfortunately, didn't float that bill that I was looking for. And had a fraternity brother who graduated 2 years before me, who'd got in the mortgage business, and he was starting to do pretty well. And like me, he hustled and he worked his butt off and he got promoted and he got into a management position and the mortgage business was starting to take off. And this was kind of like the first cycle coming out of like the late 90s thrift savings crisis. And so mortgage rates were super high and they were starting to come down. And as rates go from high to low, activity happens. And so mortgage companies are starting to get busy. So buddy calls me up, hey man, I need to hire like 3 or 4 people in the next month. Like, are you interested in, a job? I was like, what is it going to pay? How do I, I don't have any experience. What is this? Like, what am I going to do? Oh, don't worry about it. Like, we'll figure it out. We'll get you trained up and we'll teach you everything. Like, it's not super hard. We'll figure it out. Starting salary, 36 grand. I'm like, in. Like, that's twice as much as I've ever made in a year. I'm taking it.
And as much as a teacher.
Yeah. And as much as a teacher in my first year starting salary. And so there it was, January 3rd, 2000, got hired into the mortgage business as a loan processor, lowest person on the totem pole, so to speak. And worked my way up to being the number 1 processor in the company within 9 months. Had all the top account executives in Arizona, Washington, and California all wanting to put their loans through me because they knew how hard I worked. They knew how fast I can get their loans done. These guys were making $20,000, $30,000 a month. And I'm like, I want that dude's job. Like, how do I get to this guy's position? Boss, I want that. Like, what do I need to do to step into that spot? Oh no, you're not ready for that. What do I need to do to be ready? Well, just take your time. We'll get you there eventually. No. Like, put a date on it. Like, what do I need to do by when to get that guy's job? I don't care if I got to call New York, I don't care. Whatever state you want me to telemarket to, fine. Just tell me. Give me my call sheet. Give me a desk. Tell me my hours. I want that dude's job. I want to make that kind of money. Finally, after like 3 months of harassing the boss, he was like, all right, dude, you're up. You're in. Here's your cube. Here's your call list. You're calling Oregon, Washington, Nevada, and Idaho. Those are your states. Here's all the brokers that are approved. Call these guys, find loans. I'm like, okay, cool. But we're not doing any business in San Diego. Like, can't I like go after some San Diego business too? Cause like, that's like where I want to be. And our rep down in San Diego is doing like $1 million a month. And like, that's not very much. Like, can I start like doing some calls there? Yeah, fine. Go ahead. Well, she's got her book, everything outside of her book, fair game for you. Screw Idaho, screw Oregon, screw Washington. I'm going right after San Diego, dude. And so I did. 3 months in, top producer inside sales. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, boss. I told you, give me a shot. I'm going to go out produce these guys. So he's like, you're right. I'm like, so now that I've built this book of business of San Diego brokers, like, can't I just go down there? Like, I could probably do a lot better versus sitting here on the phone, selling them over the phone as I could if I'm sitting in their office looking at all their deals and getting to know them and going out to lunch with them and taking them to coffee and doing these other things. Can't I go down there? Sure, let's give it a try. Sweet. So I pick up my suitcase, get off my buddy's couch where I've been for almost a year, move down to San Diego, rent a house, get a couple of fraternity buddy roommates to jump in with me. And I started my outside sales career in the mortgage business. And within the first 4 months, I was number one in the country for the company. Fortune 500 company, Syntex Home Equity. And I remember this day, it was super funny. CEO of the company calls me up one day. He goes, so we're doing a quarterly company newsletter. And we want to highlight you as producer of the quarter. I'm like, cool. Like, what does that mean? Like, we're going to have our marketing team call you and they're going to, do an interview with you. And we're going to, put you as like the spotlight employee of the quarter. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So they call me up and they've got this like list of questions, like all these things. And I'm like, how are you so successful? Like, you just got in this business. I'm like, I work hard. I show up every day. I walk into these offices with a smile on my face. I know what I'm selling and I do my job. They're like, that's boring. We got to do something else. I'm like, that's what I do. I'm like, no one taught me how to do this job. I figured it out myself. And that's what I figured out, how it works. You get up every day, you do your job, and you work your butt off. And that's what I did. And here I am 23 years later, still doing the same thing.
Still being top dog.
Still being top dog.
I love it. It's such a compelling story because I think all of it connects from your mentality of being just a hustler from a young age all the way up. Like, and people ask you like, well, what makes you so great at this? Like, well, I like to work hard. You saw like this thing in life where so often we think that things will just come to us or we have to, be in some special scenario in order to find success. And I think especially what I found in my career and definitely what you found in your career is success comes from just hard work and grit and determination and just going out and asking for it.
That's right.
And well, you kind of stole that line from Keith, so.
That's right, just ask.
It's a fascinating journey. And there's so much to unpack there. But I do know is like over the course of the 23 years, you've had some struggles in business. Yeah. Like there was, if you care to elaborate, there was a pretty big event that happened that most people in life try to avoid.
Yeah.
And it's actually, well, probably two events, but number one was with business, and it's not easy coming back from that and staying determined, keeping that mindset when pretty much everything crumbles around you. So
yeah, it was the mortgage and real estate professions. There's peaks and valleys, right? Mm-hmm. And they're pretty extreme peaks and valleys. And the peak we had was 2006. Where from 2006, the mortgage business was just on a rampant trajectory. Anybody who had a pulse could get a mortgage. And rates every 5 or 6 months were dropping 0.5 point. So every 6 months, you can refinance the same client, over and over again, every 6 months from like 2003 to 2006. Finally, it started to show some cracks in the industry. And I always prided myself on being knowledgeable on the industry, being knowledgeable on my products, and being smarter than the average loan officer out there, because the average loan officer out there was the 22-year-old dude who was making $20,000 on a deal and going off to Vegas and partying for 10 days and getting completely silly, wasted, and blowing all of his money. By 24, 25, 26, I had 4 houses. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not that dude. Like, I'm not blowing my money on stupid stuff that I worked my butt off to go get. I'm building an empire. Donald Trump is out there and he's like buying all these homes, and he's just like this dude that I'm like, that's a dude right there. Like, I want to build an empire of real estate. And so I started buying homes and learned the opportunity to leverage one home, pull some equity out, go buy another one, build some equity in that house, pull some equity out, go buy another one. So by the time I was 26, I had 6 houses. Me and my wife, we were both in the mortgage business. We were balling. We were like, $500,000, and we're 26 and 27 years old, making $500,000 a year. We had 6 houses. We were like, this is freaking awesome. Then I'm like, wait a minute. There's something not right here. Like, these people I'm writing loans for don't deserve these loans. Something bad is on the horizon here.
This was 2006?
And this was like late 2007.
Okay.
That I started to see this crack in the system of what these loans were actually looking like from the backside. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable giving you this loan, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, because it's not right for you. Like, I can make $30,000 if I give you this loan, but this loan is not going to work for you. And you're going to find yourself in trouble if I give you this loan. So I don't feel comfortable doing it. If you want someone else to give you this loan, call any lender out there. They'll do it. I'm not writing it for you. And I did not want to contribute to the downfall I saw coming. So I stopped writing these bad loans. They were neg-am loans. And these neg-am loans were not for everybody. They were for very savvy, sophisticated investors who knew the power of leveraging that money to make more money. It wasn't for your 60-year-old retiree who just needed to save a couple of dollars. And those people, and the people who were just going, oh, you're approved for a $500,000 loan. Feel free, go buy a house. They didn't have any credit. They didn't have any income. They didn't have any money down. They financed 100% of a house that was worth half of what they were paying for it. And hence the 2008 mortgage meltdown foreclosure crisis. And during that time, there was a website called the Implodometer. And it was literally daily tracking mortgage companies going out of business. Every day, new ones. And this Implodometer just got huge. Every mortgage company just blowing up, imploding, going out of business. We get a call one day from our CEO. Everything is great. Our company's in great shape, financially super strong. All these other guys are going to fade by the wayside. We're going to pick up steam. We're solid. 2 days later, you're all laid off. We closed. Sorry about that. Good luck. That was it. Via email. 3:30 in the morning. Got an email. I had a sales team. I had about 12 employees. Me and my business partners were like
27, 28 at the time.
It's probably 20. Yeah, about 28 at the time. Just had my first kid. He was like 3-4 years old, and got laid off via email first time. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Let's take a step back for a couple days. I'm going to just do some research. I'm going to figure out what other companies are out there, and I'm going to start seeing if there's a better opportunity for myself. And didn't like what anybody was selling. Just everybody was selling, oh, we're going to be the last man standing. Oh, we're going to be the strongest. We're going to make it through this. And I'm like, why? Why are you going to be the last man standing? Why are you going to be the strongest? What are you doing so differently than these other 500 companies that just imploded and went out of business? And every one of them was just like a head scratcher for me. I just couldn't figure out why anybody had the right secret recipe to withstand this this massive change in the marketplace. And so I basically sat there for about 2 weeks, did a bunch of homework, met with a bunch of companies, interviewed everywhere, didn't love anything, got together with a couple of other branch managers who are part of the same organization as I was in. And they were both kind of looking at this thing from the same perspective as I was. And we're like, you guys want to partner up and like do our own thing? They're like, hell yeah, let's go. So I partnered up with 2 other guys, and what a better time in the world to start your own business than the worst time.
In 2008.
Yeah. And so there it was. So I went from being, a salesman and a sales manager to, being an owner of my own mortgage company, and did that for, 4 or 5 years. That thing kind of ran its course. Me and my partners kind of started to fracture, weren't all cut from the same cloth. That became relevant fairly early on, but we were building something that was kind of cool and it was fun. And we were coming up the outside of the 2008 debacle. Things were starting to get good again. We were building a pretty awesome mortgage company. We had about 150 employees. We had like 9 different locations in 4 different states. And, we were doing pretty good business. And then things started to change again. And then we went through this next little cycle, and interest rates went up, new legislation came in, guidelines were beginning to tighten on loans, compensation to loan officers was getting changed. And all of a sudden this machine that we had built was just starting to like crumble from the outside and just starting to weaken. And I just saw it. I realized it early enough that I just decided that it was time to shut it down, close it before it became a complete total disaster. So I went out and I sought another company to become a business partner with, and said, hey, I've got a sales team of about 15 people. We're all entrepreneur minded. We're all hustlers on the street. We're all business relationship minded. We don't buy leads. We go out. This is how we get our business. Like, would you be interested in acquiring me and my team? Guy was like, you're a perfect fit. You're exactly what I need. Let's go. So I jumped on board, got myself a salary, brought my team over, became a sales manager, and started kind of rebuilding my life financially from there. And that was from 2011 to 2014. And then I built that guy's company for him, and he sold his company, and there was 0 paycheck for Kelly in the sales price of that company. So I said, peace, brother. Good luck to you. I'm out. Thanks for selling your company and giving me nothing from it when I helped you build it over the last 4 years. Time to shift gears again. So shifted gears in 2014, and that's where I came into OneTrust. And the owners of OneTrust Home Loans were 2 of my employees back in 2003, 4, and 5.
No way.
So I taught a couple of young, motivated, entrepreneur-minded brothers how to do the mortgage business. They became hustlers, and now they became the owners of the company that I've been working for since 2014.
Wow. There's again a lot to unpack there, and I think there's going through something like that in business it's hard to keep your your mind together, because as everything starts to collapse around you, and then someone kind of screws you over, I guess, in business and leaves you with nothing. It's hard to probably want to keep going. And I think kind of through all of this, I just want to admire you so much, Kelly, for the way you lead, the way that you inspire others, the way that your salesmanship of just leading with integrity. And I think it's probably why OneTrust has worked out so well, because you taught these other guys from your place of integrity, and going through all of this trust. Funny enough, it's trusting people to take care of you, and also to take care of others the right way, is really what sets apart, I think, people that are going to be successful for the long haul, because karma has a way of coming around, right?
Oh yeah.
Doing bad business is going to lead to bad business, and pulling back in 2008 and being whoa, helping looking out for these people, even though they wanted to buy a house, it was and you would make money off of it. It's being whoa, none of that. And then also just continuing to want to do things differently and inspire others, especially with North Coast. I think it's been a huge thing. Just, one thing that really differentiates North Coast that I love is it was built off another networking group where there's a little bit of, not shadiness, but there's profit in it. And North Coast is built nothing on profit. It's all just
Yeah.
How can we help other members contribute to each other and be each other's referral partners? And the only dues are for breakfast. It's great. It's like a great environment to be in. So I think
there's a lot to say about the way we built NC&G, and it was a grind to get that thing off the ground.
I'm sure.
To where it is today, 7.5 years later. I mean, it was a grind, but we did it right. We started it with the right intentions. We built it with integrity, and we built it with honesty, and we built it with transparency, and we built it with trust of the people that we brought in. And those are the things that good business is built on. And here we are with, almost 40 members now, and we're humming, man. We're humming machine.
It is. It is a machine. Now, I know we're running a little short on time, so I want to get through a couple of things that I had questions on. But your kind of integrity is huge. What do you think is something that separates you, OneTrust, kind of the way you do business, from everybody else? Like, why would someone do business not only with your plethora of what you can offer for someone, but why Kelly Kline? What's your why?
So I've always lived my life by the golden rule: do unto others as you would have want done to you, right? Like, that was always like my motto growing up as a kid. My parents always instilled that in me. And so I don't look at what I do as being a job. I don't look at what I do as a career. I just look at it as a way of life. And anybody I meet could become a client. Anybody that I meet can become a friend. Anybody that I meet can become an ally in a business partner. And so when I work with a customer who is seeking advice on a mortgage, I treat them like I would want to be treated if I had no clue what I was doing. If I'm going to come to talk to you about solar, I want you to treat me like I don't know a damn thing about solar, and teach me everything that I should know about making an educated decision in solar. If I want to hire you to, do my computer network at my house, I want you to teach me how you do that, why you do it, and what the outcome is going to be like. And I teach people everything they need to know about homeownership. And I do it with honesty, with integrity, and with transparency. And so it's not about a paycheck. And many people in these types of sales careers, their focus is paycheck, paycheck, paycheck. I'm working for a paycheck, and I'm working for a relationship. And if I build that relationship could lead to 20 paychecks, not one paycheck.
Yeah. It's called ROR, return on relationship.
Return on relationship. That's it, man.
Wow, that's awesome. I live by that a lot too. And so that's what I think that's why we connect so well.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess, what's one thing that you want to change in the world?
Holy moly.
Good. And maybe in the mortgage business, but ultimately just in life in general. Like, what do you want to change?
People are the most interesting people out there. And I feel like people need to let their guards down and just be willing to trust. And people need to give back a lot more than they do. One of the things that I've always found a lot of love and joy and pride in is youth athletics. And I'm a part of my children's sporting teams as their coach. And I'm a board member of Encinitas National Little League. And we're a nonprofit organization, and we're built on the foundation of volunteerism. And this year, 2023, we had the largest amount of registration children in our league at over 520 players. The biggest we've had since I've been in the league, which is now 14 years. Brought my oldest son up from T-ball into high school, and then my youngest guys started T-ball. And out of 520 plus children, I still walk through the park every day picking up people's trash because people just don't care. And that is something I wish that I can leave a mark on people. When I walk around there as an investor in that league, as somebody who donates time, energy, effort, and money, I've got my plaque on the scoreboard because I donate. I've got my banners on a couple of fences as a sponsor of the league. And I'm out there coaching my team in the playoffs. And after getting done coaching a game, I'm walking around with a trash can and there's people just standing around chit-chatting and having a good time. And they were probably the reasons that trash was sitting on the floor. And I would love it if people would just pull their head out of the sand sometimes and just look around and be members of society and do the right thing. And that would be the one thing I would love to change, is just for humans to just become members of society and not just members of their own little freaking bubble that they live in.
And if we could change that, I think the world would be in a much different place.
You nailed it, dude.
Thanks for sharing that. It's cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's the impact you leave on most of NCNG as well. I think like just that mindset is huge. But wrapping this up, this is North Coast Coffee Chats. But I know Kelly, Mr. Irishman, is a big beer drinker and a whiskey drinker.
Yes.
What's your favorite whiskey?
Ooh. Boy, my cabinet has got a lot of flavors in it right now. So a couple that I really enjoy, Willet. If you've heard of Willet. Willet bourbon is a really, really nice, smooth blend. It's a Tennessee bourbon.
Whiskey.
Or
bourbon.
There is a whiskey distillery in Park City, Utah called High West. High West has a rye bourbon that is super good. And I'm very big fan of that. And Basil Hayden, I would say those are probably three of my like go-tos that I would like just pour on a rock and sip a couple a night.
Okay, well, you can find Kelly for good whiskey. So where else can people find you? Social media, website, phone number, like can they call you? How do people find you?
Yeah, absolutely. My phone is my lifeline to success, and you can always reach me at 619-784-9695. You can find me online at www.lonecoachkelly.com, and that's Kelly, lonecoachkelly.com. I am on Facebook, lonecoachkelly.com, or you can find me personally at kelly.kline33. On Instagram as well, same thing, kelly.kline33 and or Lone Coach Kelly, and on LinkedIn. I'm a big connector. I've got a lot of followers, a lot of connections. I'm a constant networker in action. That's my life. Again, trying to build relationships, trying to support people, trying to connect people. And that's why I had the passion to build NCNG, was because I just love to connect people and find ways to help people grow business and see entrepreneurs grow entrepreneurs.
Cool. Well, if you haven't been inspired today by Kelly's story and just passion for making an impact on the planet and leading with integrity, then go listen to it again and give Kelly a call. And I'm sure he'll inspire you too. He's, lawnmower. He knows how to toss paper and footballs. He can flip pizzas. He can go knock on doors. He can raise money.
Bag your groceries.
He can, forgot about that. And he can also help you find your dream home and help you invest and help you really be an advisor in your life. Just make sure that when you're going out there and making change in the world, being like a guiding force, because Kelly's been that for me too, and I'm sure everyone else in NCNG. So please go reach out to Kelly. I'm sure he'll coach you through everything you need to, just like he coaches Little League. And so great chatting with you today. As always, just leading this podcast has been such a joy, and excited to get to know your story and put it out there as well for the rest of the viewers.
Thank you, man. Good work.
Thanks. And good work to you too. So this podcast is put on by North Coast Networking Group, NCNG. And if you own a business and you want to connect to more people, more like-minded entrepreneurs like us and the rest of NCNG, go find us on northcoastnetworkinggroup.com, NCNG on Facebook and Instagram. And we meet every Thursday from 7 to 8:30 a.m. for breakfast. Your first two breakfasts are free and it's delicious. So
Beach Plum Kitchen
here in Carlsbad. And Kelly, super great chatting with you today as always. And
yeah, buddy.
See you next time.
Thanks for putting me on the hot seat today.
Of course. And
Good episode.
Thanks to Max Lux Media for
Max
sponsoring
Lux,
this.
thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
Hostess with the mostest.
Hostess with the mostest.